All right, we are live. We are live. Come on in, everybody. Check on in. Everybody, check on in. You know how we do. When you come on in, shout out where you're coming from, your city, your state, your galaxy, your country, your mind, wherever you are coming from. Come on in. I know it's a Saturday night, y'all. This is totally not my usual live stream time or day. Um, but let's just roll with it. Tonight, I'm just going to jump right into it. And I want, as you guys come in, I want you guys to participate because I really want to know this answer. Okay. And the question for tonight is, do you teach or talk to your children about current events? And I have a reason why I'm bringing this up. What's up, Melinthia? You're a Cali girl. Well, no, you're from H Town. So y'all come on in. I just talked to a couple of you on IG. Y'all come on in. Now, what has me using this as a topic is because I don't know how much news you follow on a daily. And just FYI, because YouTube is always on some crazy sin er ip stuff, we have to talk in code. So please, no names of politics or politicians or the Jabberwocky, all of that, because that hurts the channel. It hurts YouTubers. You basically have to talk with a gag in your mouth. But let me get back to the current events. And this might be a small show. I might not have a lot of people in here because a lot of people don't want to face the fact they want to be ostriches. Wait, ostrich. What's the plural of ostrich? They want to be an ostrich. They want to keep their head in the sand. And when your head's in the sand, you don't know anything, then you have no responsibility because you didn't know. You can't do that anymore. You cannot be oblivious to what's going on in the world. So this is what I do with my kids. And then I want to hear what you guys do because I'm always looking to learn and glean from you guys. A lot of you have really great systems or things that you do that I definitely applaud you doing. Hey, Katesh. Hi, I was catching up on the High Wire and saw you like, oh, High Wire? Yeah, I love Dell. Um, but speaking of current events, like I have hey Muna, like all my kids know who Dell is. I'm not gonna give his full name because he was run off of YouTube a few years ago. Um People who are truth sayers, people who go against the system are being hunted down. Now, I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary schooler. Required reading in this household in middle school is 1984. First is Animal Farm. No, first is The Alchemist, because you got to know yourself. The Alchemist, uh, Animal Farm, 1984, Fahrenheit 451. There are more, but those are classic books from the 50s, 40s, very old books. They've been around, they're classics for a reason. And those books beautifully highlight what authoritarianism looks like, how people who have good intentions end up not having good intentions, how people turn on other people, how things that seem to be going just fine turn bad just like that. When your children learn about this in a non threatening way, like through animals, i.e., Animal Farm, or through say 1984, which takes place in like a mythical land, is it doesn't relate to like New York City or London. It's kind of removed so you don't feel like it's happening to you. When you have your children read these books or watch a movie like The Thing, I'm sorry, not The Thing. That's John Carpenter, which is a good movie. They Live with Roddy Piper. Um, your children will start your children are really brilliant. Our children, young children are brilliant. They pick up on stuff. We think they have to be in high school or ninth grade or something to read these kinds of books or watch these kinds of movies. No, y'all know kids, they say the two people that tell the truth are drunks and babies. They cut through through the chase without all of these fictional constructs that we place on ourselves. They don't have that yet because they're still young. So they can see and get straight to the chase. So when you're having uh discussions with your children, please have them. But also when you're reading these books or watching these movies, also turn on current events. Now, it's on you what kind of news or current events you show your children. I'll tell you this, if you look at my YouTube channel, I am subscribed to at least 8 international news organizations. Germany, South Africa, Brazil, England, Australia, France, um, China, India. That's 8. There's more. Canada, because I like to triangulate and connect the dots and see how many of these countries are talking about the same thing. And if they are, how are they saying it? How is it different in this country than from this country? So then you start to wade through and kind of see what's what, right? So let me catch up with some of these comments. Hey Lillian, every time I see your name, I think of Eddie Murphy and was it Raw or Delirious when his dad was talking about Lillian? Can you post that book list, please? Oh, sure, of course. Let me do that in a second. Um, as a matter of fact, Melinthia, we need to have a talk, like a video just on those books. Hey, Steph from Texas and Brittany from Florida. Yes, please link books discuss. Okay, I will. We do not discuss every news headlines, but we talk a lot about the nonsense going on worldwide. The public schools and radicals are teaching their kids, so it worked. I'm sorry. The public schools and radicals are teaching their kids, so it would be crazy not to arm ours with truth. Exactly, Brittany. Which version of The Alchemist do you own? There's only one. That's by Paulo Coelho. Let me put this in the chat. Let me put this in the chat. There's only one. I know, like, say for Animal Farm, you have a couple different versions. You have an abridged, unabridged, illustrated, 75th anniversary. Oh, someone's at the door. Hold on, y'all. And who is at my door? Oh, that's my son. Hey, the door shouldn't be locked, baby. Open it. It is locked? Oh, here, let me tell your brother to open the door. Hold on, y'all. One kid was out playing like. Oh, is that your brother at the door? All right, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Okay, hold on. All right. Y'all talk amongst each other. Let me go let my baby in. Hey, 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 let your brother in. Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm not usually set up. I'm actually in the corner of my mom cave just chilling. Yeah, so now there are different covers. That's probably what you're asking, because The Alchemist is very old. I think it came out in the 50s, but it's very old. So over the course of time, whenever there's a new reprint, the publisher will usually change the book cover. So you think it's another book, but it's not. Unless it says, the only time you're going to get a different version, it will say like abridged, unabridged, new. Usually it might say something like new introduction or something like that. But if the book has been altered in any way, it will say it on the front and it'll tell you, so you'll know that you're not getting the original. Let's see. The Alchemist, Animal Farm, Fahrenheit 451 and 1954. Thank you, Katesh. Yes. I stopped watching the news because it is so depressing. And that's by design. And those are things you have to tell your children, because if they don't know, they'll just become susceptible to it. And our kids right now are already fragile, right? Mentally, so many things going on in the world. Our kids are in a very fragile state. So you have to let them know this is the whole point. I have a journalism degree. I've interned at NBC, Showtime, Viacom, Nickelodeon. And let me tell you what, not those, but at least with a news organization, uh hold on, you are to print. They're just saying if it bleeds, it leads. So especially with television. Yes, baby. Hey, hon, what you need? Yes, you want to say hi? Oh, hi. Okay. What's for dinner? I don't know. Dad went to Costco. Okay. So if it bleeds, it leads. So when you watch, especially local news and national news, like your major, like the nightly news, it's always going to start with something depressing. That's the whole point. That's how they keep you reeled in. There's a whole another aspect to that I'm not going to go into. That would have to be on another channel. But anyway, so with some of like with my son who goes to public school, he's in ninth grade. We have like a 12-minute drive from our house to the school. Now, that's because there's traffic, because everybody's going to work and to school. Normally, it's like a 3-minute drive. But I like it that it's a good 10 minutes, because we listen to inspirational people, David Goggins, Les Brown, people like that. Or we talk about what's going on in the world. And I'm not going to say any names right now. I'm going to talk in code. But right now, there were two superpowers that got things going on two different borders. And so we've been talking about that. And he's like, he comes back in the car when I pick him up from school. And he's like, Mom, nobody in my school, they really know what's going on. They don't know this is happening. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, because they're not showing this on the regular news. You have to go outside of your country to get this information, which leaves you vulnerable because you're not able to prepare for things because you're not given the information, which keeps you very anxious, because when the information is thrown on you, you're like, what? How this happen? And then you start scrambling. Then you run to the stores and there's nothing on the shelves. You run to the gas station. The line is a mile long. Right now on the East Coast, you got a blizzard going on in Massachusetts and along the eastern seaboard. It snowed in Georgia and the Carolinas just a couple days ago. Who's out there? Mo, who's out there? What are you doing? No, that's fine. I just have a lot of my seeds, my little stuff, and it's dark out there. Which brings me to my next point. If you're not aware of what's going on in these other countries, you probably don't have any idea about the supply chain, what's going on in Canada right now. And I don't, I'm a daughter of a Marine. I was born and bred to be prepared, right? And being prepared, part of it is preparing your children, because what if you can't do something, right? Your kids are gonna be looking at you or looking at each other like, oh, Mom didn't teach us anything, Dad didn't say anything. No, we can't have this. No, you know what? Tonight, we're gonna have to have a series on this. Tonight is really about how to start teaching your kids to be self-sufficient. Can your kids start a fire? Do your kids know where to find the stuff to start a fire? Do they know how to plant seeds? Do they know how to cook a meal? At least one meal. Can they boil water? It's just these basic things that we take for granted, but the generation, our parents' generation, and definitely those generations going further back, they did with ease. We are so dependent on other countries for our survival that these supply chains, this shouldn't even be an issue. If we had everything that was being produced, manufactured in this country, we wouldn't have to be reliant on other people. It's the same thing in your house. There are so many things that we rely upon: Amazon delivery, Amazon Prime or Fresh, water delivery, Uber Eats, you know, Postmates, all of these things, to where you start to forget how to really do it. Speed dial. Do you know all your family members' phone numbers by heart? No, you don't need to, because mom's number 1, dad's 2, sis is 4 on your phone. And so we have been just, what's the word? We have been uh what's the word when you just, when all of your faculties have been just taken away? We have been stripped of all means of being self-sufficient because we've just turned everything over. So when you're talking to your kids, your children, your babies, about, and I hope you do. If you don't, I hope you start doing that. It's a great way to talk about history, current events, geography. Okay, though we're homeschoolers, you can throw a whole bunch of stuff in. And then from there, you can talk about, well, what's going on in our neck of the woods? What does this look like? Take them to the store. If we go to this store, whatever, you know what I'm trying to do. If we go to this store, and normally when you go, say if you go to the cereal aisle, you got 200, options. Now when you go, you got 5 because it's almost empty. Or the bread aisle. Let them see that. And then talk about, why do you think this is? Do you know why this is? It's called just-in-time delivery. Meaning stores only stock just enough, just in time for you to buy something for the next week. They put just enough to get you through the week, right? Our economy didn't always used to be that way. There you go. Now you're bringing in economics, okay? In a real life way that's not over their head, your head, and to where they can see for their own eyes how the things you're telling them affect them. So when you're, after you're done teaching reading, writing, math, and all those core subjects, teach some life stuff and show them how what's going on in the world affects them, and go deeper if you need to. If you've been affected by it, job wise, health wise, financially, start being honest with your kids. They can handle things if you tell them in a way that doesn't scare the bejesus out of them, so they can understand, so they're not broadsided by something, right? Like we are in this country. We're being broadsided all the time with boom, 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 because we're not told how things really work. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Seems 60 containers fell off a cargo ship this week, and the news only mentioned it because of a laughing tweet about it. Ain't that something, Brittany? I'm in LA County. Over the LA port. It's right next to Long Beach port. It's like San Pedro, LA, and Long Beach. And when you're driving, just when you're on any freeway, like in LA County, at least like South LA County, the whole, whether you're like southwest or southeast, if you're on any high freeway, you can see the ports. And if you go closer, like you can take like the 710. The 710 freeway is where all the trucks, and I hate taking that freeway because it takes you right to the aquarium. And we said the aquarium of the Pacific was our stomping ground. We don't go anymore because the kids have been there like over 200 times. But you see just truckers, miles and miles and miles back and forth to the ports with all the cargo on their trucks. And when you're on that freeway looking, see what they've done now. They've had the cargo ships go further back into the ocean off to the side, so you really can't see them. So you have to drive closer to the ocean toward the port to really see, oh, there's 50 ships right over there or 20 over here. But when you go further inland, you can't see it. They just have them move off. You know how when you tell your kids to clean and dust, and all they do is they just kind of move, they just move the duster around all the objects instead of picking it up and cleaning under it. That's what they did. They just moved everything to this way, moved everything to this way, and then you think it's all good and clean until you like really look under and you're like, oh no, they just went more to the east, so we can't see them. You gotta, it's critical thinking skills. So you know what, honestly, if you have to take a break from what you're normally teaching, this is a great exercise. Critical thinking skills. If you want to type in, unless you have a reliable news source that you go to, if you see something, do a screenshot or just type in news of the day and just see what pops up and see if some kind of interesting picture pops up. Okay. And take that picture. I used to do this with my kids a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I made a little small curriculum about it. And I took, oh man, I would take pictures from 5 different subjects. And I had a list of the places I would go to get the pictures. So for science, it was like we it was National Geographic, it was excuse me, uh NASA, all the major people in science. I would go to their site and get pictures. They would always put up really nice pictures of things, whether but they would be really interesting pictures. And then I found a site where they put up cool pictures, daily pictures every day. And I have it somewhere. I do have excuse me, I have it on my old laptop. I need to pull that up. So for instance, one picture might be a picture of a bird with his claws grabbing about to grab a little rodent or something. And these are beautiful pictures. And so and so you would look at the picture and talk about what's going on. What do you see? What do you think is happening? It's like that case that's a real famous picture of, it was like a civilian on the ground looking distressed, and then there's a soldier over him, and it looks like the soldier is about to him or do something to him, but it's a close up of the picture. But when you pull back, you take a wide shot, you see that the soldier is about to pour water from a canteen into the civilian's mouth. He's like on his back, and it looks like the soldier might be holding a gun. But when you pull back, you see that he's got his arm cocked to pour water. And see how that narrative changes drastically? So when you're looking at these pictures, it teaches you to look at details. It teaches you to look foreground, background, and then it teaches you to question, okay? What am I really looking at? What are they trying to tell me? These are great talking points. This is something you can do for free. Um, I'm gonna find that link because I think this is great where your kids don't have to write anything. Find things that they find interesting. All the little things they put on TikTok and IG and stuff like that. Get a screenshot of it and then talk about it. Break it down, especially if it's something that's really popular or a trend or something like that. Start there because that's something closer to them, and then bring in maybe some news stuff. Maybe with all those truckers in that long line up to our neighbors up north. Talk about that. Why are they like that? Or Google cargo ships in LA port or Long Beach port cargo ships. Take a picture of that or just sit down at your laptop. Talk about that picture. Or go to the store. Look at them shelves. Why do you think this is? And just start the conversation. Okay, current events, just talk about one thing because something goes on every day. So just expose them, and that'll get your child to start thinking less about themselves and what's going on around them. The last thing I tell my child before he gets out the car, I say, I love you. And then right after that, he looks back at me because he knows I'm gonna say, keep your head on the swivel, baby. And that's it. Because he knows they just need those reminders. And I would be like, I make it like kind of cool, look funny, but he knows. Okay. So that's really what I wanted to talk about. If you guys do things where you teach your child current events, or maybe you have talks at the dinner table, that's another great way. Breakfast time, lunchtime, dinner time, anytime. I know back in the day, CNN used to have like the little student news thing. I don't mess around with CNN, but for some people, they use that. But it was like 10 minutes of, little facts and things like that. I don't get my news. I don't get my news from any news organization that's got an alphabet in it. I don't. But I challenge you to start looking at information outside of your bubble. Because I found one organization that I'm like, was never feeling when different administrations take office. I like to see what the opposition is saying. Because, they'll dig up anything and everything to find something, all the wrongdoings, it's like, they telling on, on the other person. So I like to see what they're saying. Then I can go do some further research. That's just me. But I'm curious to see what you guys do. Let me see. See, Melinthi says, I need you to come homeschool my boys because after listening to you, I think I'm. No, you're not, girl. We're not going to put that in the universe. I'm not saying that word. Seriously, thank you for pointing all of this out. Oh, you're welcome, my love. I might want to drink some of this water. Hold on. I am so on your page with current events, but I do want tips on how not to scare them because I also have a 7-year-old and I'm not sure. But okay, this is perfect, Katesh. Hold on, let me put this down. Hold on, let me turn off this heater real quick. Oh shoot, no wonder I'm hot. I got all this stuff on. I literally just came back from a wrestling tournament and I made a quick run into Lowe's to pick up two more apple trees. That's another thing. Food. That's See, I'm extreme. My kids know how I am, but see, they gonna remember. Um, for a 7-year-old, like I said, start with things that are in their world. Movies. Ooh, movies. Listen, you're gonna tell your kid, hey, we're gonna take on a different personality. We're gonna have alter egos. And then look it up and explain to your child what an alter ego is. Tell them Beyonce. Remember Beyonce? She was Sasha Fierce, then she was that. Or a couple of other artists had like alter egos. Michael Jackson. Anyway, tell them, hey, two of us. All right, we're gonna have our alter ego. We're gonna be decoders, right? And you give yourself a cute little fancy decoder name, and then give your child one. And only when you guys are in this character, you're gonna break things down. So, say what's the latest movie coming out? Say Spider-Man. Was that Didn't Spider-Man just come like a big movie that just came out, or Transylvania or something like that? And you're gonna watch the movie or a cartoon or whatever. 7 years old, was that first grade maybe? Watch whatever is popular, and then just ask him questions about it, okay? Because before we get into the world stuff, we want to train them to look at what they're seeing and question what they're seeing. It's almost like if you're doing your basic reading comprehension questions, that's really all it is. They try to make it seem like, oh, it's gifted, it's advanced. No, heifer, it's just basic. Listen, all the stuff that they slap gifted labels on, gifted curriculum, advanced curriculum, all that kind of stuff. That stuff your grandparents, Meemaw, Grandpa, Madeir, that stuff they did just naturally because they didn't trust nobody. Because back then, you had to be straight and exact because if your food wasn't right, you weren't eating next season. You didn't chop enough wood, you weren't gonna have no heat. You know, they had real world consequences if they didn't check and make sure what they were being fed or what was going on, or the salesman was, was being shady. They had to make sure that was on the up and up, because the consequences were really, really dire back then. So they just naturally were critical thinkers, analyzers, and questioners. And that's all you do. You say, some people say it's being nosy. Mm-mm. That's how you get that information so you can make an informed decision. So with your 7-year-old, start with movies or cartoons. Take Bugs Bunny, for example. Watch an episode of Bugs Bunny. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. Now, once they watch 30 minutes of that, ask them, wait, what was Daffy Duck always trying to get? Daffy was always trying to get something, and Bugs was always trying to get something. And then the man with, what's the man's name? Elmer Fudd, not Elmer Fudd. No, Elmer Fudd went after Bugs, and then the one with the hat and the red beard was always going after what? Roadrunner, I think. Whatever. But take that cartoon and ask, how come so and so, Elmer Fudd, or the villain in this case, how come he never catches the animal? He's got all this technology and everything, but you got this little rabbit, and this rabbit is never getting caught and put in the pot at the end of the cartoon. Why? Elmer Fudd. Well, we can kind of understand why he never got no meat, because he was just an idiot. But start with those cartoons. Why did she run this way instead of that way? The way to freedom was this way. The way to the haunted house where the evil stepmother was that way. Why she run back to the doom and gloom? Just ask questions. Why? All y'all have to do is say, why did they do this? Why didn't they do that? Why did they put this here? Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can get a basic book on signs and symbols. Okay, what those signs and symbols mean. And you have kids that watch Disney and all those little, shows, derivatives of Disney. Baby, they put all kinds of signs and symbols in there. You will be flabbergasted. Your kids need to know what those signs and symbols mean, because they're being indoctrinated, because they don't know what it means. But the universe understands signs and symbols, not languages, not English, French, Swahili. I was trying to say two things. Swahili. They don't understand. Universe understands signs and symbols and numbers. So you got to help your baby decode by knowing these signs and symbols. Okay, so your 7-year-old, she, into all the princess stuff. How come she always is wearing a dress? Or, she doing all this stuff in her dress. And the dress is always clean and stuff. Just always pristine. And she just finished fighting 5 villains, running on a horse, riding on a horse, doing this and this and this, and that dress is pristine. What does that mean? Mom, it means that this is not reality, and that you cannot do all of that exertion and expect to look perfect. Boom. So when your mom is I'm talking to my kid. So when you see me cleaning the floors, rubbing all this and stuff like that, and my hair is all disheveled, I got armpit funk and cracked lips, dry, ashy. That's how I'm supposed to look. So you're not going to grow up to be a male that expects your woman to look pristine every single day when she's got things she got to do. But if you were growing up on a Disney diet and your parents never told you nothing, you would think that a woman is supposed to look like a princess all times, no matter what she's doing. It's just little things like that. But you see what I'm saying, right? So just start with things that your kids like to watch, and then you start watching with, I know how I like to do. Hold on, I don't want to wipe off my eyebrow. You start watching with that eye and just ask questions. And if you're not sure what to say, just Google decode Bugs Bunny. Easter egg. Okay, here's another thing. Easter eggs. So Easter eggs, it's a new new kind of term, but an Easter egg just means there are things in movies or television shows that are for the initiated. I'll just say those in the know. They're like little hints or clues um, that the average person probably won't pick up, they won't notice, but those who have the eyes to see will see it, and they're called Easter eggs. So let me see if they have Easter eggs for cartoons. Hold on, y'all. Easter eggs. And no, it's not Cadbury kind of stuff. Easter eggs for cartoons. Let's see what kind of crazy stuff I'm going to get. No, I don't want images. Easter egg in cartoons. Let me see if that pulls up. Because that will give you lots of talking points. If it doesn't pull up for cartoons, I'll just put it in movies and then see. Oh, they do. I can't share my, wait, yes, I can. I forgot I'm on StreamYard. Okay, I think I fixed all my security points. Let me see if I can share my screen really quickly, just to let you know what I'm looking at. Okay, share screen. Okay, I want to do a window. Nope, tab, Easter eggs. All right, here we go. Can y'all see? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. It says Easter eggs in cartoons. Let me see what y'all seeing. Oh, I see me. Oh, hold on. Add to stream. All right, can y'all see it? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see the, what is it, Aladdin? Yeah, Aladdin. All right, so it says 10 Disney Easter eggs, hidden Disney character cameos. Oh, that's not what we want. But basically, that's the whole point, though. It is just hidden messages, hidden images within a movie or a TV show, anything. Okay, good. So just Google Easter eggs, okay? Now, these are like little innocent ones because, these are kid stuff. So it's like looking for somebody. This one is about finding characters that are kind of hidden around in the storyline. Okay. So that's a great start, because now it's going to start training your child to start looking, instead of looking at the character, look around. Look at your surroundings, okay? Maybe something is embedded somewhere in the character or on the character, okay? So that one's just for characters. Okay, here we go. To put it simply, what are Easter eggs in shows? Easter eggs are hidden references, clues, or inside jokes that have been inconspicuously placed into TV shows, video games, and movies. They're pretty much a creator's secret love letter to their fans, or in some cases, an inside joke with fellow creators. Now, they're being nice, fellow creators. Insert, y'all. Start with Easter eggs. You got little babies, even just for you. Just start there. Start with Easter eggs, because at least then you can Google and see what the stuff is. So then think of it as your teacher's manual, the answer booklet. So you go Google, write that stuff down, and then go watch the show. And then you can pepper those questions to your children throughout the show or after, preferably during the show. All right. So try that on, okay? And then once they get trained and used to looking around and seeing what's in front of them, instead of just blinders on and just looking straight at whatever they're supposed to be programmed to see, then they'll have different eyes, right? Different eyes. But that was a good question, Kates. Current events, critical thinking, and logic, those are crucial to teach. I wish I could grab my bell. Wait, is it near? No, it's way over there. Thank you, Coffee and Cream. I have a star here. I don't know what that means, but I just put a star by that comment. Oh, okay, I know what that means. Mama 5 says, watch Breaking Points. Oh, yes. Yes, I love Breaking Points with Sagar and Crystal. I've been following Crystal for like 20 plus years because she's trying to run for office, and she has changed from back. Remember, I was a poli-sci major when I first went off to college in the 90s. But yes, I like Breaking Points because that the show used to be The Hill, and then Shenanigans was going on, and then they broke off, went off on their own, and they had Breaking Points with Sagar and Crystal. I like how, to me, I find them to be really unbiased, and if they do have something, they like say it. I like, and they have two, they have their own opinions about things, but I like how they bring in things that you won't see on the other alphabet boys. I like them a lot. That's a great place to start. They do have a subscription on their channel, but you can watch snippets of the show, like 8, 10, 13 minutes. So those are pretty lengthy little snippets. And you can always see, like, at the bottom, they have the lineup for all the topics they're going to talk about for that day. So if you want to, look at that and run with that, you can. But that's a good one, Mama Five. I like that show. Kids love harvesting and eating food they grow themselves. Oh, absolutely. And that's how you start making things fun. Start off with radishes. You don't have to eat it, but it's super, super fast. Lettuce. As a matter of fact, don't worry about seeds if you can't get seeds, but you should be able to get seeds to plant. Go to the store. Go in your refrigerator. If y'all go to my other channel, the Messy Homesteader, shameless plug, I have I just started it like a couple of weeks ago, but I have a couple of posts where I have these green onions. I have about 6 of them that I got from the grocery store, and I put them in I use them, but instead of throwing the bulbs away, I just put them in some water. They sprouted, and the leaves, the shoots just keep coming up. So now I have them in the ground, and let me tell you, they grow like crazy. I mean, it's just 6 bulbs, but they're real big bulbs. 6 of them, and I have green onions forever. You just keep cutting, and they keep coming back, coming back. Lettuce is the same way. You got lettuce that you bought from the store, that little nub, that little stem at the bottom, that's precious. Use that lettuce, then take that stem, put it in a glass of water, preferably a clear glass so you can see when it starts to root or root if you're from the South. Put just a little bit of water, just enough to cover the bottom. It'll start to root. And then eventually the lettuce will start to, in the middle will be real thin. The lettuce leaves will start to come, and they'll start to, you won't have to buy lettuce anymore. That bib and butter lettuce is very expensive. Buy it one time and then go put it in some water. And then eventually you can put it in the ground. Okay. But be careful, because for some vegetables, water roots are a bit more fragile than soil roots. So you have to kind of like harden them off a little bit, but otherwise you will be fine. But yeah, that was a great suggestion. Just get, who said that? Brittany, get your kids involved with that. Okay. All right, guys, it's been 42 minutes. I'm gonna go until 45 minutes because I desperately want to get in the shower and eat. I don't know what my husband's getting because I ain't cooking. All right, Melinthia says, question about planting seeds from vegetables from the store. Oh, there you go. Okay. Someone told me they modify the seeds like a tomato and other vegetables from the grocery store so the seeds won't flower. All right, so there are two words you should know: organic and GMO. Organic just simply means that the farmer or agriculture business who's running a farm, they haven't sprayed pesticides on it. Okay. So it's just a practice. Doesn't matter because, like, if you say apples are the most heavily sprayed fruit. That's why you always want to scrub. Like I use Dr. Bonner's. I pour it in a spray bottle with half and half of water, and well, not Bonner's. I use about a tablespoon to spray, and then I scrub the apples. Okay. Um but that's just to remove the wax that the stores put on, or the companies put on, as a transporting the food from the farm to your table, but it's also to remove pesticides. That's not your problem, because you can on hard things you can remove the pesticides. Things that you're going to just that you can't really scrub, like lettuces, green onions, chives, bok choy, leafy things you can't scrub. So you will want to try to get that organic, but you can't stop there, because the other label you have to look for is GMO, which they're trying to change the name, but it stands for genetically modified organism. Sometimes you'll see GE, genetically engineered. That's your seedless watermelons. And I have seen this at the store, and at Sprouts, no less, which is supposed to be a natural store. Seedless lemons. I'm like, who is gnawing on a lemon where the seeds would bother you? Now, I know people, squeeze lemons into their drink, but it's nothing to fish out the seeds or to strain it. It's not even a big deal. Anyway, so you can have seedless watermelon, which is not a real watermelon. That's Frankenstein food. But the store will say it's organic. Now you're like, organic, ooh, because that's the buzzword. So what? They didn't spray Roundup or glyphosate on the watermelon. It's not real. So you can't, if you do happen to find a seed or two in the watermelon, and it's probably a white seed, no, that's not going to be anything. At best, if you can't grow your own, get GMO first and then organic. Okay? You want both, right? So you can hopefully take that seed and plant it and start growing your own food. For the leafy things that you can't scrub the pesticides off, try to get that organic. Okay? It'll start growing. I mean, you cut it and it'll start growing. It'll start growing. So, and if it don't, then it's some GMO stuff. But a packet of seeds costs, look, because I was planting seeds today. That's why I was hollering at my kids. Y'all about to make me make a big mess in here. All right. Look here. Y'all can't be playing in this world right now. You've got to be self-sufficient. Look. Remember I told you I made a run to Lowe's, and then I went to Home Depot picking up more seeds. How much this cost? Well, this is $1.99. Okay. But look, $1.58. $1.58. And that's usually, it's gonna be between, at the most I paid $1.39 to $2.50. And that's because it's an heirloom and they say organic. But is this the one? I labeled all mine. How come these aren't? Okay, now I have one more case. I'm going crazy. But look at this. Guys. All of these are seeds. All of these are full of seeds. Now, the one on the bottom are my medicinal seeds. Things, feverfew, burdock, dandelion. Things for your medicine cabinet, okay? Just start a little at a time. I went to 6 different stores that sell seeds. Your big boxes, nurseries, the Dollar Tree, they all have seeds. Even the grocery stores had seeds. Go get you some seeds. Start with what you like to eat and what's going to grow kind of fast, like your lettuces, your radishes, things like that. Okay? No excuse right now. Do that with your kids. As a matter of fact, I like botanical interest because, hold on, let me pull up some botanical interest. In terms of teaching your babies, because, let's see, I know I got some in here. Yeah, right here. The inside packet of botanical, right here, number one, you have a little tag already, but you can open this packet up, and on the inside, it's more information about the vegetable. Okay, And this is great for your kids to learn, okay? And I like how it's a little bit more educational. So if you have a choice, botanical interest can be like maybe 10-20 cents more than like fairy moors or what's the other one? Lake Valley, Seeds of Change, Johnny's. It's a whole bunch of them. But start there. There's no... This is what I planted today. Look, this was panko breadcrumbs. But, not playing. Not playing. Get your babies out there in the dirt. Uh-oh. Get your babies out there in the dirt with you. And stop playing around. There is no time to be playing around. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. But you don't want to be putting on your socks and shoes when everybody else is halfway down the street with their socks and shoes on already. And you like, where's that other sock? Okay, so we don't want to be left behind. You don't want to get caught. Like what happened a few weeks ago on the East Coast where they had that standstill. How many cars? It was hundreds of cars stuck on the freeway for like 36 something hours. Now, I would have been fine because I literally have a house in my car. I keep everything in there. But that's not everybody. And people will want to come for your stuff. Or you start to feel bad because other people are suffering and then you want to help, but then you're torn because you did what you needed to do and you don't want to take from you and your family to give to another family, because once they see what you got, they might just want to take what you got. So you have to think about those things as well. You, not your kids, but start with those things with your kids, the current events, and work your way up. But work on the critical thinking skills. Just start to look at pictures, okay? I tell my kids when we used to go out, because like we've been on lockdown for darn near 2 years, but when we would go out to restaurants, I have such a great relationship with my boys because I'm like, we talk about everybody. We'll be sitting in the cut and people watching, and I'm like, certain kinds of people come by. They got like really, really, really long hair, 200 tats on, but they carrying a cat. Like I've seen that before. Like so gingerly. Like the guy looks like he, be throwing signs and stuff, but he's walking on the beach with his cat. It's like let's decode this picture. Where do you think he's going? Where is he coming from? Why he's carrying that cat? Is it his cat? Where'd that cat come from? Is the cat hurt? Did he want a dog? But I was all, just we talk about people. And baby, the girls, me and my son, or my son and I, oh, he loves it. I just be ragging on all those girls. I said, look, the higher her shirt is, the lower her grades are. Trust. It kills him every time. I'm like, baby, look. In your class, I want you to test my hypothesis. The higher, because the kids wear the crop shirts now. I said, look, the girls who have the worst grades in class, you find out when they pass the test back and everything. I bet you my bottom dollar, her crop shirt be way up here every day. The girl that got the sweatshirt on, she dressed like me. She's an A+ student, huh? He's like, yeah, Ma, you're right. I'm like, see, so watch. So you just tell them, just watch, and if anything, is to watch them, to watch the world, so their perceptions can be challenged, because we have our biases and things, and so you could be surprised. Someone that you think is the nicest, the smartest, is the one that's like, and then the one who looks like he would go pew 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 is the nicest, most giving person. So that decoding, any name you want to give it, I just say decoding because it's more adventurous and more fun. But the more you do that, the more your children can be challenged with their thinking and perception, right? And then you're there to help guide them along. Okay, so Let me catch up on some of these comments, and then I'm gonna jump. I'm not too wet, but man, it was hot in that gym. So we need non-GMO to be able to grow seeds from those vegetables. So first of all, if it does not say non-GMO, I'm not touching it. That's just me personally. If you don't have a choice, if that's what's there and you just need something, I say get it, because I'm a survivalist in the end. I say get it and try it. See if it grows. Just know what you're getting. But in the end, if you hungry and stuff done hit the fan, you gonna eat that. Just it is what it is. But if you can get you some seeds, you know, then fine. Rock with that. Make that an experiment. Bring your kids in. All right, guys, I bought this. This is non-GMO. Why don't you make it a test? Buy the same vegetable, buy GMO, buy non-GMO. See what happens. See if the tastes are different. Um, for your leafy vegetables, uh, you'll have to plant them in the ground so they can go to seed, the flower, and then the flower dries up and it drops the seed. So it would be a while before you could tell if the seed would plant. Let me tell you, for those kinds, let me just show you. I personally wouldn't do it because the seeds are so microscopically tiny. Let me see if I have some in here. For lettuces and all your leafy vegetables, the seeds are so tiny. Um, Definitely your lettuces. They're very, very tiny. Um, Even like your kale. Now, kale's actually, to me, big compared to lettuce. Let me show you some lettuce. This is why I'm like, it's not even worth the test unless you have something big like zucchini. I don't like getting up. Zucchini and all that stuff. But that takes time. Um, so why not just when you have time, get you some seeds. Get you at this point, get what you can, okay? And the stuff from the grocery store, Melinthia, just try. I'm always going to say try to get GMO, non-GMO. If you can't, get something and then practice on what you get. Practice putting that in water, seeing it grow. Make it your rehearsal. Your practice fruit. Your practice food, okay? But definitely try to get you some seeds, okay? Try to get things that, even if you don't eat it right now, things that are going to be basics. It's going to be your lettuces, maybe some tomatoes. Even if you have an apartment, if you got a balcony, if you got a window, grow some lettuce, grow some basil, by that window in a pot. Just start there. There are so many people that grow trees in the house by their window. A lemon tree. I would say start with the lemon tree because there are so many things that a lemon can do. It's got vitamin C. It's an astringent. It's a cleaner. It's medicinal. Lemon is a multi-purpose everything. It's a multi-purpose fruit, in my opinion. So start there. But definitely, if you're at the store getting some food, chances are somewhere by the cashiers or at the entrance, you're gonna see a little turntable thing of seeds. Go grab you a pack. They may be hybrid from the grocery of non-organic. It will grow, but will be unpredictable as far as being the same as the one you ate. So yeah, so what Katesh is saying about the hybrid, you have like it's called determinate, non-determinate, and F1 and all that kind of stuff. They're still going to grow. Determinate means that vegetable is only going to grow at a certain height, and you're gonna get what you get. Indeterminate means you can get anything. You can get grandma, grandpa, mother, father. You can get anything from that seed, right? Um, I kind of, well, depending on the food, sometimes I like indeterminates because I like to see. You'll find that a number of heirlooms. I don't know this to be true, but in my experience, seemed well. I shouldn't say that. Seem to be indeterminate, but that's just me. I personally, When I buy seeds, I buy heirlooms only, because heirlooms, you're going to get what you get. That's why they're heirlooms. They've been around for over 100 years. Some of them have been around longer. Um, there's a reason why they're an heirloom. It's like a classic book. It has predictable patterns to it, predictable needs, predictable behaviors depending on the weather, the predictable growth, things like that. So, but you don't need to worry about that right now. Just get you some seeds, put them in the dirt. Get you some seeds, put them in the dirt. Don't worry about a lot of tomatoes are hybrid. Almost everything on the market are hybrids. Your corn, your carrots, all of that stuff. I personally I only rock with heirlooms unless I cannot find an heirloom variety. But just get you some seeds. Just start with the seeds. And then as you get your knowledge of, then you can decide, oh, okay, well, I don't want that. But definitely, if you get a packet of seeds, you don't have to worry about getting the actual food and then taking the seeds out and then planting them and worrying about, is this going to grow? If you got a packet of seeds, that's going to last you a long time. Remember, the packet of seeds were like for farmers and stuff. They would plant a long 20-foot, 50-foot row of that crop, that one crop. For the regular backyard gardeners, you're never going to use all of those seeds. I mean, it'll take you years to use all of those seeds. Like, there are probably 50, 60 seeds in a tomato packet. I've had, unless you're doing a lot of canning, you might use all of that if you have the space. You might. But you got a lot of seeds in there. 100 seeds, 75 seeds. It's because they're small, and there's like so many seeds on one fruit or one vegetable. Now, like with your squashes, you're not going to have as many if it's the smaller squashes, like your zucchinis, your squashes, things like that. But it adds up. So if you just get one packet of, say, 4 different vegetables, you're set. And just keep them, store them in a dry area, dark area. You can keep them in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator. You can even freeze them, but make sure they don't get any moisture, any sun, anything like that. Just keep them protected. They'll last you for years. I have seeds from like 1998. Every now and then some of them might drop and something comes up. I don't know. I eventually end up pulling it because it dropped, like, on the side of the sidewalk or my stepping stones. But just get you some seeds, okay? Don't make it complicated. I'm late, but I'm here. Hey. Oh Lord, my glasses. Let me see. What does that say? Is that Ivory? Lord, I can see. Ivory American. What's up? Can you do a homesteading live? I have a lot of questions. Actually, one reason why I wanted to get out of here, I y'all know, if y'all know me, my favorite YouTuber is Lead Farmer 73, and this morning, at least morning my time, he made some apple cider vinegar, and it took maybe all of 10 minutes to do it. And I wanted to make it, but I was moderating, and then I was doing some other stuff, so I couldn't do it at the same time he is. So I said I was going to do it tomorrow, and I was going to film it. So I can put it on my other channel. In addition to, I'm canning in the morning, so that's one reason why I want to go to bed early. My sons are they're belt testing for karate, and then there's football, so I got to be up early in the morning to avoid all of that traffic and noise and stuff. And so I'm gonna be up in the morning. So I'll make it live. I'll just plunk the camera down and I'll just talk. I'll probably be on my phone. I'll see what I can do with streaming from my laptop. But yeah, I'm gonna be up early in the morning. So I'm West Coast. So y'all on the other side of the country, you should be up. But I'll be up early. I gotta I learned so much about making vinegar. I will never buy vinegar again. I mean, there's so many different ways to make vinegar. It's such a great way to use up stuff that's about to get old. My goodness, guys, I'm telling you, we have had the wool pulled over our eyes. There are so many things that we don't have to do. We can do for ourselves. That's free. That's stuff in our house. Like, just, I mean, maybe 2 months ago, my kids had outgrown a lot of clothes, and so I was putting everything in a bag to take to Goodwill, and I looked at it, I was like, "Well, wait a minute. I can cut that up, and that could be little wipes for, when we gotta go to the bathroom in case, there's no TP." I have a big bag, and just every now and then when I'm watching TV, like when I was watching The Wheel of Time, I would just have my scissors and I would just cut little strips about the size of like real toilet paper. I would just make little squares, and I have a growing stack of booty wipes. Or it could be tissue as well. I didn't think about that. Oh yeah, I might have to make it a little bit longer. But yeah, so I mean, old t-shirts, even pants, because hey, that could be something to wipe up something. Just there are so many things in our home that we can recycle instead of going out and paying all this money for. And when I saw what the apple cider vinegar, how easy, like I love Bragg's. Bragg's has gotten, it was always expensive, but it is super expensive now. And I get the big jug. It is so expensive. And when I saw how easy it was to make vinegar, I was flabbergasted. So this is what I want to get out, because you know what? Let me find the book. Now, for some of us, unfortunately, where is my Back to Eden book? Oh, it might be in the car because I brought it because I knew that wrestling tournament was going to be forever, and then sometimes I had to dip out, go read. But all the things, we get nostalgic about, oh, our ancestors or my grandma, my Mima, grandpa, they lived on the farm or they homesteaded or they had like the staple pantry and they had all this stuff. They didn't have to go buy anything. They made soap. You know what I'm talking about. And we long for those days, even if we didn't really live through those days. We can be those people that we put on a pedestal. We need to go back to being those people because they were very self-reliant. And so that was one reason why I started the Messy Homesteader, my other channel, because I want to remake myself in the image of my paternal grandmother. Because that grandma, she'd be about 5 o'clock in the morning, fully dressed with her moo on, scrubbing the floors every morning. I'm like, Grandma, but you just did that yesterday. Baby, I got 15 grandbabies all up and down in Grandma's house. And y'all not going to clean like Grandma clean. Now get on out. Every day without fail. They were hard workers. That's the one thing I have to say. Our family back in the day, y'all, especially those mothers, they were hard workers. They had the wash on the wash bed, the cooking the food, everything from scratch, cleaning. They didn't have a Dyson, vacuum cleaner and all this stuff what we have. And I want to get back to that time. I don't want to be working that hard, but I want to work smarter, but still in the vein of it being from me and not from somewhere across the Pacific Ocean, from another country. I'm relying on that. So I don't know how I got on all that, but yes, homesteading live. So if I remember, uh, I'll turn on the camera. I'm gonna start with the vinegar. I'm gonna start with the apple cider vinegar because I have some apples. Hey, so remember I told you I went to Lowe's today during the tournament? I got a Fuji apple and a Honey Crisp. Now I got the Fuji apple because my son and I are starting this cleanse. I took him to an herbalist last week, and I was looking at all the ingredients, and I saw the apples, and the apples are used quite a bit. So I asked him why this particular variety, because it specifically said Fuji, and he told me the reasons why. I said, oh, okay. And then I said to myself, I'm about to go get me a tree because I ain't never gonna buy another Fuji apple again. And I have two apple trees. I have a granny and I have a golden delicious, but not a Fuji. So I went and got a Fuji and the Honey Crisp. So maybe next year I'll have a nice little harvest of apples. So those are things to do. So I'll be live. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm gonna remember to turn it on, and I'm gonna knock out the vinegar, and then I'm gonna bring in the canning. I was thinking of canning ghee or some jams because I have some pineapple jam. No, I can make because Led, he made some pineapple vinegar. Ooh, decisions. I only got one pineapple. Imma see, but I'm canning and I'm making vinegar tomorrow. So, um, hopefully I remember to turn it on and then you guys can just hang out with me, watch, and we just, kick it from there. It is very hard for the people like me who live in the big city of New Girl, I used to live. Hold on, y'all. That's probably my husband saying dinner's ready. Hey, yeah, are you grilling it? Okay, yeah, I'll have one. Let me do one. All right, bye-bye. Um, yeah, I used to live in New York and you know what? No, I feel you on that. And I lived in Queens and then I moved to Manhattan and that was worse because you're just on top of everyone. It's and we had a window in our apartment. I shared my apartment, well, her apartment, and the other building was so close, it was like barely any sun that came into our apartment. So, but you got to work with what you got. But that should be an incentive for you to start deciding, do I really want to be here long term? Could I see myself somewhere else? And if so, let me start putting a little bit of money away. Let me start researching land, cheap land. Okay. Um, Start thinking it out. Start seeing that, visualizing that, make a vision board, put that in the universe. So then the universe can conspire, as they say, can conspire, whether you say the universe, God, Jehovah, Allah, whomever, it can conspire to work things in your favor. Okay. So, and I don't know where you are in NYC, if you're in the outer boroughs, maybe like I lived in first Jamaica, Queens, and it was just like what the name says. There's a lot of island people that lived there. I had Jamaicans on one side, Dominicans on the other, and then my landlord was Guyanese, and they had fruit trees. It was an Eden because the island people, they're used to just like mangoes, papayas, guava, all of that stuff, and it grew in New York. I don't know how, but it sure did. So, um, so Mona, I don't know if you live in an apartment. Maybe start looking to see if there are community gardens and if anything, to at least meet other people. Because you want to kind of befriend people if possible and start building that tribe of people who are thinking differently. And then just take it from there, okay? I know New York's got a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. So, you know, me, like I'm in California. They got a lot of crazy stuff going on. And that's why when I get my homestead, it's more than likely not going to be in California. As much as I love the weather because I can grow anything and not have to worry about frost dates or rains and all that kind of stuff. The drawback is I have a really small uh, spot of land. And, you know, to do what I want to do, like I'm going through some crap with trying to get some chickens. And, I might have to be clandestine, but I'm in a city, and so there are ordinances. So I'm like, I know for me, I've been saving and I've been researching land and mineral rights and water rights and there's just so much. So just start the research now. At least you'll feel like you're doing something and moving forward until you figure out, where do I want to go? Do I even want to go somewhere? You know, so just start thinking about that. It doesn't have to be doom or gloom unless you want it to be. Okay. So long as you're making plans and you're feeling in your heart, this is where I really see myself being, then you can make that happen. I am a firm believer in that. Okay. I have the same container and the seeds will last about 2 years, best germination rate. If stored in cool temperatures, they might last longer. It's a great way for children to understand the cycle of life. Absolutely. And the seeds actually can last a lot longer. I have seeds that are like 10 years old, but it's how you store them over the course of time, right? Now, the germination rate might go down, but you're still getting something. Now, remember, in a packet, you got more seeds that'll last you, because the seeds weren't just made for the backyard gardener. It was made for people who had acres, where they had the plot of land where they can have long rows of crops, right? So so just keep that in mind, but just get you some seeds, okay? And start practicing, okay? Just throw them in the ground. Rare seeds sell amazing heirloom seeds. I always have good growth from them. Where's my rare seeds book? I got like 200 tabs right here. Um, hold on. Now I haven't placed my order for oh, this one's old. But yeah, this is rare seeds. Now they have 2 catalogs. This is one of them. That's from last year. This is the new one, Baker Creek. And I haven't it's just so many seeds. You know, I don't have enough land for all the seeds that I have, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that half those seeds will be in my homestead. So don't worry about expiration dates. Just, keep them protected, keep them covered. Don't keep them on a counter in the kitchen, by the kitchen window, in your bathroom under the cabinet. Just find maybe in the pantry where you keep your food, you know, and keep them all together. It's kind of, eyeball it, watch it, make sure nothing's happening to the seeds inside. Okay, where are we at? SAS 910. I'm probably butchering that. Thanks for the inspiration on that, love. I'm going to try that decoding and I swear I can't see. I have new glasses. And stalking. Okay, stacking. Wait, seed stalking. Yes, please do. Please do, and involve the kids so they know. Now, I got to do better on this because a lot of times gardening is my peace and quiet time. That's my me time. So I don't really want other me's in my garden. But I feel like my kids at least know the basics. They know what's good soil. That's important. Eventually, that will be important to you. They know how to read, the packet. See, they're spoiled here in LA because they can just drop a seed anytime. And I keep good soil. I mend, and I have raised beds. So they don't know what the struggle is. If you got like a clay soil, you got sandy soil, if it rains a lot, if you get freezes, super hot temperatures, they haven't had the struggle. So oh well, I guess we'll have to figure it out because they just haven't, they don't live in that kind of climate. So they don't really know how to revive, you know, a plant that is wilting in 105-degree heat. Mom, what do we do? Like my kids wilt they themselves at 80 degrees. So, my kids, Lord, I know what they're gonna do. I would try internet intentional decoding with my kids. Yes, try that. And y'all let me know how that goes because I'm always encouraged when I hear stories of how you guys take, information that you hear and then you put your own spin on it. I think that's great. So you are so right. Becoming an experienced gardener takes some time and a couple of seasons. So yes, at least get started. Thank you for always being on point. Oh no, you're welcome. I've been gardening over 20 years. That's how old I am. I did one master gardener class at when I first got in. And then I was like, I didn't have my own space. I had a community garden and it was 40 minutes away. I had to drive to it every weekend. So at that point, because I had precious time, I'm like, that's how I really became that messy gardener. I just had to get it done. So I can like check the soil and the pH and oh I gotta use, is this plant low on this? I had extreme heat. My plants were in the valley. It was extreme heat. And I'm like, I gotta keep these babies alive. And when it's survival and you can't devote that much time, you just have to get to the basics. You cut out the fluff stuff real quick. because you just need the food. Plus, that's gas money, wear and tear on your car. Then when I had my babies, I would take them with me to the garden. And after a while, well, you got babies. I'm like, oh, do I really want to drive 40 minutes to the garden? Chase my kids because it's a community garden. Oh, and I got to put those pictures online. I had a beautiful community garden. I had 3 plots. I was grandfathered in. I had a plot and then someone left and then I got her plot and then another person left on the other side. I was able to get that plot because you can have a max of 3 plots. So I was lucky enough to get 3 plots that were right next to each other. So I had a huge plot. I had kiwi, never grow kiwi. Kiwi, oh my God, the branches. And I think they probably banned kiwi and they banned morning glories because, they just take over the land. But yeah, so you just start. Yeah, just start. Just start. Yes, ma'am. Lead Farmer 73 stuff. Go check him out. I love that man. He is so funny. He is so inspirational. And then he mixes in the learning, the teaching. He doesn't think he's a teacher. He's a phenomenal educator. He just don't want to admit it, but he is. I'll be up in Texas. Please go live. You'll be up. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the vinegar. I'm gonna start with the vinegar. So I'll probably be on my, I don't know, I might be on my phone. But I'm gonna set it up, okay, so y'all can see and do it with me. All you need, well, I'm doing apples. I got like 6 apples, but and they're small apples. I got my mason jars, but they're small. I think I have a big old pickle jar that I can use. And I got water. And what was the other thing that I needed? Some lemons. Yeah, I think that was it. But I'll watch the video again. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Hey, sis. Oh, it's so good to see you. We got another fellow Texan. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Y'all, I'm so happy to see all my veterans coming through. Come through. Shatoina, we are going, well, this is unofficial because I might not do it. I mean, I'm gonna do it. I might not do it live. Now I know you are glamorous and everything, but I also know that you're a practical woman. So I'm going to be making vinegar, apple cider vinegar from scratch. Very easy, takes 10 minutes or less, and I'm going to be canning. So I don't know what time. It's a matter of when I get up and get everything set up. I might set it up tonight. But so roll through if you want to. It's on my other channel, the Messy Homesteader, which is in the description box below. But it's so good. I'm so happy to see you, my love. I hope everything's well. Y'all, that's an OG right here. Listen, hey, now I had Dear Jessica come on as a guest. You need to, I'm putting you on the spot. I need you to come on as a guest. Y'all, this lady always inspires me. She's one of those women where she keeps herself up. She homeschools phenomenally. She always has great insights into homeschooling. And I keep telling her, I've been telling her for years, girl, get you a channel. You got to share this knowledge, these jewels. She ain't doing it. So why don't you come on live with me one day so we can talk? I want to have you on. Coffee and Cream says, why is my screen so tiny? I can't see. When are you going to show us how to make vinegar? I'm going to do it tomorrow. Now that I'm going to do. The canning is more involved. Well, the very first time I canned, I did film it. So I'll probably just set the camera down, but I probably won't be talking to you when I can, at least not in the beginning. Once I start, once it starts, once I drop the weight and, all that stuff goes on, then I'll have time to like look at you guys and talk. But for the vinegar, yeah, that I'll do that live. I'll do that live on my other channel. Okay, because I know a lot of the homeschoolers don't really care about homesteading stuff. So I will be on the other channel. So make sure you subscribe to the Messy Homesteader. The link is down below in the comment section. Okay. Let's see. Look at Coffee and Cream. When you going live? See, I'll probably be live 7 o'clock my time, so 7 a.m. because I'm a very early riser. So 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. See, I am ready to move, but my husband is in love with New York City. Girl, that's my problem with my husband. He's in love with California, born and raised. So sometimes I'm gonna leave that alone. Just pray on it, meditate on it, and see what aligns your way. Be pure of heart, because things, let me tell you something real quickly. Okay, both my husband and I have businesses, and I got a tax letter in the mail. And did I tell you this before? And it was a really high amount. Now, I make money with my business, but I make that much. And I'm looking at it, it was telling me how much I owe. I'm like, what? I started cussing the administration, everything. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, oh my God, how is that? I gotta talk to my accountant, and then I'm gonna get killed with crypto. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna make any money? Because the government is taking everything. And then, I sat down, I meditated on it. I said, this year is going to be like this. And I'm pure of heart with this. And this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to be. And I was very serious about it. Before, I would just kind of say it like it was a script. This time I felt it, because I was like, I want this homestead. And I happened to pick up the paper because I was going to call the IRS, and which I did. Well, I called the IRS like on Tuesday, because they said, Monday's crazy day. Tuesday, I was on hold for 2 hours. Now, I was all sad. So I said, I'll do it the next day. I'm still mad about this bill that I have. And then I call, and I'm on hold for maybe an hour. And then I get through, and I'm talking to the guy, very nice feeling guy. And I was telling him, I was being funny and telling him, y'all trying to take my business down, but I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna be the phoenix. And he was just laughing. And so he was trying to be all professional. He goes, everything's gonna be okay. He was really, really nice. And he was like, I believe it. And I was like, yes, and all my little proclamations. And I picked up the paper and looked at it. And I looked at the social, and it was my husband's and not mine. And I said, wait a minute, because he kept saying, I don't see anything on your account. You don't owe anything. I'm like, y'all are lying. You're trying to trick me. Da 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 da. Woo woo. And we went back and forth. And then I'm like, I'm gonna be a phoenix and rise. And I looked at it, and I saw it was actually his tax bill. We have like a complicated situation with separate assets and then joint assets, like businesses and things like that. So that was one of our joint ones. I didn't notice that. So I said, wait a minute, you are right. You're not lying. But after I made all those proclamations, and this is what's happening, and no one's gonna get me off my path of success. This is what's going to happen. I was proclaiming that in my heart, because I was like really about this government is trying to bring me down. And I looked, and the social was different. Now, y'all, when I first got that letter, I looked at that letter up and down, every piece of freaking information. So I know I would have noticed a different social security, EIN. I would have noticed that. So I'm like, that's a big, glaring, obvious error on my part. I don't make errors like that. But that was how the universe conspired and made a way for me where I thought there was none. So all that to say, Muna, your husband wants to be in one place, you want to be in another. You never know what might happen where both of you get what you want. I'm just saying. Because I was like, this can't be. I looked at that paper. I dissected that paper. I sure as my name is ... That was not the same social. But that day when I was talking to the IRS man, it was a different one, and it was not my stuff. So, whoo, y'all have faith. My husband cleaned a widow's gutters, and she paid him in kale. I love that. We pull from it all the time, and it just regrows. We have had amateur gardens for years. I love that, Brittany. I love that. And shout out to the lady bartering, because that kale, look how much money that kale saved you. Kale is not cheap, at least not here. It's not cheap. And you can use it for so much stuff to cook. You can use it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then you can put it in your smoothies for all the vitamins and nutrients. I mean, it's a powerhouse vegetable for a reason. So I'm sorry for the shaking, guys. The laptop is on my lap giving me radiation, so I need to get this off my lap. But any more questions? Oh, it's an hour and a half. I gotta get out of here. So yeah, so there we go. Hey Jessica, I was just talking about you real quick. So I'm gonna get out of here. I will be live for the vinegar shenanigans tomorrow. I'm making apple cider vinegar. I will post in the community tab what time I'm going on, okay? Or if I'm looking all boo boo and tired, I might go into the garden first, so I might not want to be shown. But I'll let you guys know either way. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. All my diehards, who are staying toward the end. Thank you so much. It means a lot because I really did not feel like going live because I've been up since last night. I think I had maybe 2 hours of sleep. I have some hives on my arm just out of nowhere. So I made some mullein tea and it took all the itchiness away. But now I'm itching on this one. So I need to go make me some more mullein tea and go take care of myself. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I love you all. Don't forget to share this video. Like this video. It helps with the algorithm so YouTube can push my channel out. So please, if you found some value in this, please hit the like on your way out. I love you guys. I will see you hopefully tomorrow morning for the apple cider vinegar homemade DIY apple cider vinegar no longer buying Bragg's video. All right. All right. Bye.